Hi everybody, how are you doing? I hope everybody is well and doing great. Tonight I want to jump into this. I want to get it started because I don't want to run out of time. I actually was so excited yesterday getting started with this, and I was doing so well with my reading and everything else, and I just wanted to keep going. Unfortunately, I have to stop around the hour time. I know some of my listeners really complain to me that they can't stay on that long, and they want to hear what I'm saying, but the kids get in the way, and the things they have to do get in the way, and life goes on. And also, one of the places I post my videos, it's very hard to download an hour on there. So, trying to get the word out, trying to get you guys in and discussing this. And I will do anything I can to get this out there and spread the word and get people to wake up. So, I hope an hour is good with everybody. I know some people may get into it like I do and want to keep watching. And I apologize for that, but I like to keep it at an hour. And maybe when we start our lives, we can go a little bit, longer, because we'll have communication between everybody, which I would love. So please subscribe. Please send people to subscribe, and let's get talking about this. Whether you're a believer or not, join, talk, conversate, and then decide. Okay? I know people don't want to believe that everything they're living and have been living is fake and false. But you know what? It's the real world. A lot of people don't want to believe that their relationships are going down the tubes or aren't really what they seem to be. But you still, at some point, have to accept it. Or you're stuck in a broken relationship, or you just get hurt even more, which kind of fits right in with this, So please, guys, give it a chance. If you don't believe, don't just turn it off and ignore it, because it only makes things worse. Things fester and then they blow up, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of that explosion. Okay, you want to be furthest away from it because you've had warning. You don't want to be sitting on the bomb. All right, so let's just do a recap, which I wasn't really prepared for, but like I said, let me go over a little bit of this. We followed the settlement, the worshiping, and the religion, the two different, groups going into two different directions. Who's really in control, who's using us and the government like chess pieces, just playing with us, and they have their government puppets just playing that chess game with us, doing whatever they can to keep their secrets hidden and control and movement of what's going on behind the scenes while we sit in the dark, basically with anything they can throw at us to keep our minds looking elsewhere and busy with other things, whether it's, TV, video games, anything they can get you into, sports, TV shows, anything to keep you even busy after you get home from nonstop work, because you have to survive. And if you have a little bit of time when you get home, instead of researching and doing this and that, you want to relax and watch your favorite game show, TV show, what do they call them, like the night soap operas. You can't right now, because it's a very dangerous time, and you need to be researching. And if you don't have the time or want to research, come listen to my show for a half an hour to an hour. I will give you all the information you need to know, and I am researching it. I would not put out something that I didn't believe in. I would not put out something just for views. I am not that type of person. I started this channel to help people. And when all of this started coming to light, I kind of U-turned it a little bit more this way than just about fighting for our rights, because it's important. And I did my research and I looked into it, and this is what I'm handing over to you. I cannot give you all the details because I don't have the time like you. I'm in the same position. I do have to take care of my family, and I only have a minimal amount of time to even research and feed you this. And I mean, I am really making myself go bonkers pushing through this for you guys. So I am sacrificing to give you the information you don't have time to research, just so you can have it. So take advantage of that. Please take advantage of that. And I will give you everything I find and that I know. And there are things out in the news today that you will be hit with soon, if you haven't seen already. The things that I've been talking about that were given to us in lies and blowing situations up. And though I can't say it on here because they will suspend me, I will just say, go look it up. You will find it if you want to. Go to my Facebook page. Go email me, and I'll tell you where to look. All right, so where was the last that I left off at? I want to kind of just go over the last page. That way we kind of pick up exactly from where we were. If not, you can go back and watch it and pick up where I was. Right here in front of me. We left off with, again, who's controlling the government? The Illuminati. All right. I read out, I believe this was their pledge. Yes, their pledge. And then we went into, this is definitely not a order of Jesus or anyone of the faith of God. And no, the Jesuit priests, not all of them are bad. I'm sure some of them are into it, but not all of them. Who is the ones controlling it are the ones above the Jesuit priests, which are the council. The council who runs everything at the top, joined by the Freemasons. They were accepted because of their architectural, not just wealth, but their knowledge of architectural, or architect, or however you say it. So now we will pick up on 1777. They made their own umbrella lodge, the Grand Lodge in England. Sorry, let me do this real quick. Okay. The Grand Lodge in England. They became way too powerful for the like of the 80 heads of state. They finally banded the order with the help of the Pope, Clement XIV, by putting pressure on him to do so. But again, that did not stop them. 1773, as history repeated itself, and they just started again under a different name. We know that happens. Even today, they learn to do that with businesses, corrupt businesses. They will shut down and open under a different name, which again, if the government was doing their job, they would not be allowed to. But I guess they learn from the best, and they probably have connections. Okay, and they repeated it. And they repeated it and just started again under a different name. The Freemasons, That was the new name they started it under. I hate when I stop and talk in the middle because then I lose kind of my place. Sorry. So they started under a different name, and the new name was the Freemasons. They also killed the Pope as revenge. And that was for not backing them up. Here is where it comes together. We followed the movements through the countries all the way to Europe, from the Knights Templar to the Jesuits' Council. In this second part, our two storylines meet at the crucial moment in history, whereas the wrath of the Cabal had been unstructured until this moment. It was now cast into a brilliant, fully structured plan. Evil, but brilliant nevertheless. It was the plan to subjugate the word of all of humanity. If you think it is hard to believe, then you must know the whole story from the beginning to end, which is what we are trying to give you here. The documentary sequel has more details. So again, if you really have the time and want to, go see the sequel, because I cannot give you the pictures that are posted. I cannot give you every single detail. I can give you the story with as much detail as I possibly can, which I do try to give you all of it. But I can't. But if you, how do I want to say that? But you can see it through the way I'm telling it. So it's only if you really want the detail. And again, I also can't go into the part of brutal torture or children or anything like that, because I'm sure they will strike my video. That's why I think they took hers down off of YouTube. So I have to be very careful what I choose to pick out and go over, and what I choose to pick out and not go over. So again, those are things you may not want to see, but you probably need to see. So if you ever have time, I believe go to part 3 and 9, and I'll have to get you the parts for the sequel to go into. I believe they have a small part I couldn't go into towards the beginning of the sequel, but I'll go back and check and give you the parts that I can't go over. I'm pretty sure it was 3 and 9 in the regular one, in just the fall of the Cabal. Okay, let's get back to this. Some of the biggest problems here are misinformation, not only online, but in our own history books and teaching. And we all know that if you go online, you don't get the truth, and you can see that in everyday things if you want to. It's if you want to be that cheap or you don't want to believe, then you may not. I don't see how you can't, because a lot of things before I even got into this, when I looked it up online, is all BS. So I would not doubt 1 second that anything else is. And I know a lot of our history is wrong, not just in this, but in other parts. And I know that from grandparents and great-grandparents and people who lived back then, that a lot of our history is twisted to fit what they want you to think and believe. And if you don't know that or see that, or have been told that by your elders, I don't know what's going on. So I can honestly tell you that anything they don't want you to know, they are not going to allow you to know. That's where censorship and free speech, again, plays a big role. You're not supposed to be able to be censored. You're not supposed to be able to violate somebody's free speech, not even at work, not even in any of these social media platforms. Just because they own the company doesn't mean that they have the right to stop free speech. Now, they may not like it, and they may want, if you got nasty with them, excuse me, I'm gonna wipe some of this chapstick off. You know, bosses, like when you go to an everyday job, they can fire you because you say something nasty to them or to a customer, but you can't just fire somebody because they have a different opinion than you. And here on all these other platforms, and so they will knock you off because they don't like your opinion or something you say. And what they mark the videos with is totally not even close to what is really the issue with your video. And that's a violation. You're falsely accusing me of something that is not in my video, that my video is not about. That should be wrong, because in some aspects you are taking money out of some people's pockets or stopping them from getting there, because just as my channel started to grow, they knocked me out for a week for something that had nothing to do with my video. And then I started losing followers really quick, and my videos weren't being shown because that's part of your punishment. And I lost a lot from where I had built myself up to. I lost a lot, and that's why I'm basically like starting over again. So again, if you can help me with that, I'd appreciate it. Just to prove a point that it's not okay to do that to somebody. Okay. Some of our biggest problems here are misinformation, not only online, but our own history books, which is true, and teachings, which is definitely true, and I've showed you that in 2 different videos. And if you don't know what your rights really are, how would you know what they are or how to fight for them? It's time you do, and we get them back. If you don't know, just like I've been dealing with something with code for a while, and they wouldn't even give me the correct information because they want me not to know so that they could try to find me and make money off me. And that's what they do to people. And then there was another story I put out on here. I'm sorry. About another lady they did that to, that she's taking them to court. And I got to look into those lawyers still and see what they can do for me. Because they don't give you the information so that you can't do what you're supposed to do. And if you want to know that, go back onto my code video, what they're actually doing to me, and get the whole story. And they play a game with you so that you don't fix it in time. If you even have something you should fix, which they shouldn't have any say-so on what you do to your property. But I'm not going to get into that because that's that story. But anyways, it's a way to rip you off. It's a way to get things out of you. And you're not taught how to fight them. And even if you were, you can't, because they make it impossible, because they're the last word, not anybody else. So how do you beat people that have the last word? And that comes to us joining together and doing what we know our rights are now, that we didn't know before because they didn't allow us to know. They didn't teach us for that exact reason. So come and join us, stand your ground, and get your rights back. And let's get back to this. Okay. All these orders were not separated. All these orders were not separate situations that just came and went as you were told. These are all the same orders, the same groups. You know, they would tell you this group came and we got rid of them. This group came and they were all punished and not here anymore. This group came and they were dissolved. No, this is the same group that just, like I said, kept renaming their business, renaming their organization, renaming their group, and sticking together and kept getting bigger and collecting more people. Okay. All the same retrying. Plus, you won't understand or know what is truly coming or how to deal with it if you don't know the truth. which again, you have to know the truth. They are setting up the final stages of their master plan. You need to know what to do. You need to know what it's about. If you don't, you need to know how to fight it. If you don't, you need to know what to do. If you don't. And that's staying right here with me and figuring it out and learning it and standing together. Okay, in 1748, in Germany, a boy was born. Johann Adam, and I hope I say this name right, I think the H is silent, Winhapt. It's Winshapt, but the way she was saying it, I don't know if it was the accent or correct. It was like Winhapt. Okay, and we'll just call him Adam, because she didn't use Johanna either, or Johann. I'm going to go by Adam. At 5 years old, his father died. The Jesuits took him in. He turned out to be very, very bright and very intelligent. Very highly intelligent. And strong-minded. They sent him to study law at their law school of the Jesuits. Let me see. I lost my spot. Sorry. Law. Okay. He wrote ancient documents He rewrote ancient documents with the ideology that Lucifer would eventually lead and control the world. So he took ancient documents and rewrote them into the way that they were going to make things happen and that Lucifer would be running our world. So that should tell you a whole lot right there, right? In 1773 took place... Oh, wait. Yeah, that is the back. Okay. In 1773 took place between Myers, Ashmel Rothschild, 12 selected elites, the Harzans, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, because the K is silent, so it's Harzans, bankers. It was so much easier yesterday because I listened to it all day. The bankers. So what this guy did is he rewrote everything, and with the Rothschild and all the elites and the I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right. Hazarians, okay. And the Hazarians, that's the correct way. Bankers, remember the key player in the story with the Harzans. So you got the Harzan from the beginning, that I told you about from the very beginning of the story. The Rothschilds joined they're financing it. And then you have all the elites that are, of course, a part of it. And now you got the very smart Adam, who is making them a group again. And he's the one who's going to be the one who basically runs this group now and helps them make the plan to do what they want to do. Because he's got the smarts and the brains. The Rothschilds have the money. And then the rest of them have the powers and the armies. Okay. They then my drink was going to be empty and is empty now. And I didn't really get to... Sorry, wet my whistle for you guys. Okay, much better. Okay, they then decided to join forces and riches for the outcome of world dominance. He set his eyes on Adam, and again, I think it's Windsharp or Windshapt, however it is, it's Adam, to lead their plans and practices and run their organization. So then on May the 1st, 1776, founded Bounder Perfectional. This is a weird name. It's It's Stilabstein. Perfectus Stilabstein. You're going to have to look that one up because, again, I am very bad at pronouncing these weird names. It's perfect, and then it's added Abilistine. So Perfectabilistine. It's basically the new name at this point. They founded it. And again, you can look it up or you can go to the documentary for the correct pronunciation. Sorry, hold on a minute. Okay. Then later, they called it the Illuminati. Probably because they couldn't pronounce it, so it then became the Illuminati. So thank God I won't have to try to say that word again. Okay. One world order. One world government. World domination. Again, if you're starting to see the truth, go watch the full documentary and the sequel. The rest will come together. With more detail and information. Okay, that document that I'm going to be reading about is 287 years old. Okay. It was written by a Nazi, the Sandherden letter. As for what you say, the King of France obliges you. And this is his reply to the people who the king had ordered them, I believe, to switch, if I'm at the right place. The king, back when, in the beginning, we went over, wanted them to switch their religions and pick one. And throughout the time, more wanted, certain people to follow more religions. And that's a part of your history if you watch the movies. And they didn't want to switch. They wanted to keep following the satanic ways, and they would make it seem like they were this Jesuits instead, and are some kind of Jew, and that's really sad. But they would just twist their religion. And that's how they came up with the names, because they would take that and then add it to their practices of Satan worshiping, so that they could keep their own religion, but make it look like they were following the Judaism. I think is how they said it, the Judaism that they had chose instead of, they had, what were the three again? One was Christian, Judaism, and Islam. And he said they were going to take the Judaism, but instead, again, they chose to just add that to their satanic. And when they're out with mingling with other people, that's what they would tell them. But really, they were following the Satan, practicing and worshiping. So this is the letter back to them in his answer. As for what you say, the King of France obliges you to become Christians. Do it, since you cannot do otherwise. But let the law of the Moseses be kept in your hearts. As for what you say about the demand to despoil you of your goods. Make your sons merchants, that little by little they may despoil the Christians of theirs. As for what you say about their making attempts on your lives, make your sons doctors and apothecaries, that they may take away Christians' lives. As for what they say about where am I at? They're destroying your signias. Make your sons canons and clerics in order that they may destroy their churches. As for the many other vexations that you complain of, arrange that your sons become advocates and lawyers, and see that they always mix themselves up with affairs of the state, in order that by putting Christians under your yoke, you may dominate the world and be avenged on them. Do you get what he's saying? Which, how can you not see that that is what's been going on this whole time and throughout history? It's not hard to see the truth. Okay? He's telling them, yes, the king told you to do this and that. Go ahead. Do it. But behind closed doors, keep your heart where you want it, and your pledge where you want it, and make your sons become doctors, lawyers, whatever else, so that as a doctor, you can feed them whatever to make them sick, or maybe not treat them. You have control. Make them lawyers so that you can fight against them and get into the state, to make sure you have control in the state. Make sure you place yourself in high positioned powers so that we can control what's going to happen. And they're going to keep building and growing and lining their side up and getting stronger and more powerful and more people involved. And when they're ready, they will hit and they will get their revenge, as they did in the past. Just like they keep coming back, renaming themselves and hitting again, they're going to regrow and hit again, strike again when they feel they're at their most powerful. Or before us dummies figure it out. And they already know, as they think us dummies have figured it out, so they're going to hit soon. Understand that. And if, again, you learned anything from the past, like they didn't want you to know this, but they wanted you to know everything else that was hateful to keep you, amped up. This is the past repeating itself. This is the part of the past that they didn't want us to see that was going to repeat itself. Okay? I hope I made that clear, because I want to keep moving forward. Do you not serve from this order we give you? For you will find by experience that, humiliated as you are now, you will reach the actuality of power. So again, go ahead and humiliate yourself now, because who's going to have the last laugh when we have total power? Which is their world domination that they want, and that they are going to find a way to get one way or another throughout their years of trying throughout history. And this is the end plan, the last plan, the biggest plan. And they've been working on it for very, very long time. Centuries. Are you kidding me? And if you don't stand up, that's the only way they're going to win. And they've already put themselves in the places they think they need to be to do what they need to do. And they think we're all dummies and have no clue, and we're just going to bow and say yes. Yes, we accept you to rule us. You people who think you know what's going on need to wake up, because your answer needs to be no, you're not going to rule us, because it's not the government. And they expect you to turn and say, okay, we're done with this. Give us one person to do right by us. And that person belongs to this group, and he is the one who's going to try to take that place. That is his big plan. But it's not one. It's a group. And it'll be the same group that has been sticking us in the back for centuries now. You cannot allow that to happen because you don't want to see the truth. Okay. In other words, they were told to fake it and make believe they converted. And to infiltrate every aspect of society so they could then get their revenge and take over and control. In 1776, Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati, based it on a 200-year-old letter that I just read to you, and his rewrote ancient documents that the devil would lead them. There is your proof in history, financed by the Rothschilds and the Jesuits. Freemasons joined together for world domination. Come on, people. Seriously? You don't see this happening right before your eyes? Okay. Something had clicked, so let me reread this real quick, because I had something important to say and then I lost it, of course. Okay, in 1776, Adam founded the Illuminati based on a 200-year-old letter. That's where I got it. I just read to you. He rewrote the ancient documents that the devil would lead them. There is your proof in history. Your Bible, no matter, again, what Bible you read from, they're basically the same story. Just a slight different belief in each one of them. And I know, because I was born Catholic. I've been Christian. I've been Baptist. I've worked and I've studied at Jewish halls. I have got a little bit of knowledge of everything. And I believe if you add it all together, you become pretty much a lot closer to the truth. I believe it's just been broken up by people and certain beliefs wanting to believe it in one way and one in another. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I don't care what you believe. As long as you believe in God and that's who you follow, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what your actual beliefs are, as long as you believe. But no matter what book you're reading from, he tells you this. The saints tell you this. At the end of days, this is going to happen. It's foretold. So if you believe in your religion, you have to believe in this. And it's falling out here right in front of your eyes for you to say, oh my God, this is the time and days the Bible's talking about. Or you really don't believe. And I feel sorry for you if you don't. And there's a couple other things that I've read out and I've pointed out, and I don't know if it's in this part or my last part, but God says, seek and you will find the answers. In other words, do your research and find the answers. Find what you need to know. Find your answers. Do your research. Or even through me, I'm giving you your answers. And your Bible is. This is a battle of good and evil. And it's a battle of your life. The mark of the beast. They want to put something in your hand. The chip. What do you think it all is? You can't do nothing without this, that, or the other. There's several things going on right now like that. And they're going to try to make it worse. And then if you don't do it, you will be deprived of food, housing, this, that. That is what the Bible's been telling you. Wake up. Come on, people. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Everybody knows not to bother me at this time, but they can't help themselves. So I am sorry. I don't want to pause it because I don't like to do that, and I always say I won't edit. Okay. Nothing important I got to get back to right now. Okay. There is even an older letter that I will read to you soon that played a part. Okay, we're in part 4 now. Let me see. Actually, let's just talk and then I will read you this tomorrow because we are getting pretty close to that hour limit. So let's just talk for a few minutes. And again, I'll go over some of this. Again, there is all the proof you need in just the first part of this documentary where she starts, and I have retold you that these people have been planning this because of something their ancestors felt they were jolted a long time ago. They wanted to be free in an evil way and to be able to do any evil things they wanted to do. And the people that were put here under God and whatever you believe in. Me, I do believe in Jesus and God, and the rest of them, everybody has a little different belief of who they are. Not that they exist, but who they are and what roles they played, which is, again, fine. Everybody has the right to their own beliefs. I would never, ever stomp on that or allow anybody in chat to. So you don't have to be afraid to come chat. But we all wanted good, and we wanted to follow our Jesus, our God, the right way. And from the beginning of the time, we know it was good and evil. And they didn't want to be told they couldn't do their evil stuff. And that is what started it all. Now go back in your history in your Bible. Good and evil. Now, they didn't just lay down and say, yes. They stayed low. They did things behind the scenes. They built their groups. They built their armies. They attacked. And how did they attack? By using one of us or several of us. Just like they did Napoleon. Everybody thought Napoleon, this good guy who wanted, supposedly to do good, and just fight these battles for his country and people, they thought he was the front man. And he wasn't. He was a puppet. And his handler was a Jesuit. And they used him till he was not able to be used anymore. and he lost the battle. And what did they do? They used that to become even more wealthy, the Rothschilds. So no matter if he won or lost, they knew they were going to get paid, so they didn't care sending him out there to die. And then they used his death and his loss to manipulate, which today they say is illegal, but it's illegal for certain people. It's like insider trading. And they used that money to keep building, and they would hit again. And they took over a lot and caused a lot of death, destruction, lives during the way. And then when they couldn't do it no more, they did the same thing, went back into hiding, played behind the scenes, and set up for the next attack. Do you not believe that they are still carrying that on? Do you not see what's going on in the world today? Again, look at your news. Look at your news today. If you really want the answer, email me. Hit me up on Facebook. I'll tell you where to look. Things that we knew were going on, things we told you guys that don't believe, are coming to light. Things that you say, oh, there's no way it's true. Oh, that's not, you guys are crazy. You're conspiracy theorists. It's in the news today. And it's just the first of many. And again, what side do you want to be on? And where do you want to be placed? On the bomb or far away from it? I think I gave some pretty good situations that just match today's talk. But it's up to you. It's up to you to decide evil or good, which place you want to be when it happens, and are you and your family worth fighting for? And the life of your children and grandchildren. Do you want it in darkness or do you want it in light? It's up to you. I choose light. And that's the side I'm going to be on. And I'm going to have all the knowledge I can when it comes. And if you do too, stick with me. I will try to keep you as updated as possible, even for those of you who don't have the time. I will keep you informed. All right, guys. I love you. I care. Please trust in what I'm saying, because I have no other reason to do this. I'm not even big enough to do anything, right now, except spread my word. So there's no point in me sitting here just feeding you bull to stay away from my family, to spend an hour here instead of with my uncle who's down from New Jersey, to not go home and see my kid right away, who I miss dearly every day. For what? What am I getting out of it? I don't need anything out of it. I do everything right here between leaving my job and home so that I can still support my family and still get the news out to you. And it is a struggle for me. And I really want to just go home and go to sleep at the end of the day. Cook and clean and give my kid a bath and feed her and put her to bed and go to bed, just like everybody else. Instead, I take an hour or so out a day to sit here and give you the information I think you desperately need and should know. And I spend my whole day jotting notes until I can sit here and talk to you guys and give you the information I think everybody needs to know to help them and hopefully save lives and have you where you need to be when the time comes. So I don't know how else to put it. I'm just trying to get you guys to see the truth and that I don't get nothing out of this. So I hope someday that I'll build into more and I'll be able to keep leading and keep teaching and keep showing people what they need and helping people, and if not this, in another way. Again, I have many talents. So if you ever just need a friend or an ear, I can do that too. Or certain situations in life. So when I leave this one, hopefully I will pick up another situation I can help people in. Because that's what I want to do in life. I want to make a difference. All right, guys. I love you. Take care. Love your family. You never know what tomorrow brings. And have a wonderful night. Love you guys. See you on my next video. Know what